Hey, it's Mr. Wilson here, and today we're going to think about cameras and our eyes. So here I've got something called a pinhole camera. It's a box that's all completely black on the inside. On one end, I've put a little hole that I've made with a pin, and on the other end, there's a translucent screen. Now, I can't unfortunately do this on video because it doesn't work very well, but if I turn all the lights off and shine this at a candle or a Bunsen burner, the light goes through the hole, spreads out, and produces an image on the screen on the back. So I can see an image of a flame on this screen in the dark. We're looking at this because this is very similar to how the human eye works. What's similar to a human eye is the eye of most mammals. Here, I have the eye from a sheep. So I'll hold this up nice and close here. We can see this is the front of the eye, and this here is the back of the eye. I'm going to show you some of the key bits, and I'm going to show you how it's similar to a human eye. So firstly, on the front here, I have the cornea. You might just about be able to see that inside the cornea, we can see a bit of colour up this end. We can see the coloured iris, and inside the iris is the pupil. I'm going to go inside and look at that in a bit more detail in a moment. So this is the front of the eye. If we turn to the back, this is the back of the retina, and here we can see just there where the optic nerve would have come out. We can see a little bit of the nerve coming out there. That is the optic nerve that carries the signals from the eye. I'm going to use my scalpel to cut into this eye, and we're going to start looking at what we find inside. So first, I'm going to cut through the cornea. The cornea is quite strong, it has to be, because otherwise our eyes would be fragile. So I'm just going to carefully cut this with my very sharp scalpel. There we go, that's a better cut. Nearly. There we go, I'm inside my cornea there. There we go, that's what needed. There's the liquid coming out from inside the cornea. Next, I'm going to cut through what we call the sclera, which is this bit around the side. Oh wow, look at that. That's all come out of there. So I'm going to take my scissors and use them to cut round so we can look at the inside of this eye. Now what we're going to look at is the pupil and the retina at the back of the eye. What we're going to learn from doing that is that, as I said, the eye is just like a camera. It has a small hole, which is the pupil that light can go through, and an image forms on the back, which is like the screen at the back of the camera I had, which showed an image. So now I've got my two halves of my eye. I've nearly separated them. Let's have a look first at the pupil, which is where the light goes into our eye. So here's the front of the eye here. If I flip this over, we can see around here, in fact I'll point it with this, we've got the iris, that's this bit around here. Now the iris can open and close because here in the centre of the iris we can see there's a hole. I'm going to try and pull the iris off so we can look at it and see that there's a hole in it. But this doesn't always come off easily, so we'll see how it goes. Here we go. I'm going to take my iris and pull it away from the cornea. Oh, look at that. That has come off, I think, pretty well. There we go. Look at that. That is my round iris. I'll bring it right up close again. The iris is round. It's got a hole in the middle, which is how the light goes into your eye. The hole can open or close to let more or less light into your eye. So the hole is the pupil. This is the iris. And remember, it's protected by this here, which is the cornea over the front of our eye. We're going to look now at this lens, which is just here. So we can see it's gone a bit cloudy, but this is a lens which focuses the light onto the back of the eye to create a clear image which we can see clearly. So the lens refracts the light. You'll have seen before last few lessons that refraction is when light changes direction as it crosses a boundary. The lens will refract the light to create a clear image on your eye. Let's look at the last bit, which here, this is the back of the eye. This is the retina. It's a little bit separated apart here. but all this black is photosensitive cells. These are cells in your eye that the image is focused onto. They then transmit a signal to your brain to tell you what you're looking at. And if we go to the back of the eye, just here we found our optic nerve. Let's see if we can see it from the inside. It would be just there. Just about there, I think, is where our optic nerve is going through, but we can't see for clear today. So we've seen that a camera lets in a small amount of light to focus an image on the back, and that our eyes can adjust the size of the pupil to let light in, which then reaches the the retina at the back of our eyes, where we form an image, which is focused by the lens, and that image is sent to our brain by the optic nerve. Your eye is just like a camera.